Today, we're diving into a really unique way of looking at a sacred story. It paints a picture of the creator, not as some distant king, but as the ultimate artist. And according to this source, that artist has had one single focused vision from the very beginning.
And boom, right there, the source puts it all on the table. It's a powerful, super personal idea. It's saying that before anything else was made, the masterpiece that was being planned was you.
So this is the central metaphor we've got to wrap our heads around, the creator as a divine sculptor. If we want to understand the rest of this story, the text tells us we have to see it all through the eyes of an artist working on their greatest creation.
And this isn't just an abstract idea. The text grounds this whole artist metaphor right in the Garden of Eden, or Eden. It describes humanity's original form as this perfect work of art, literally covered in precious stones. This is the original blueprint, the perfect sculpture, before the chisel of time even starts its work.
But, and this is a big but, here's the twist. This perfection wasn't instant. The source says the sculptor's work is a process, a plan that was always meant to unfold slowly, over countless generations. It's a masterpiece revealed across a vast timeline. So, this timeline, it's like the sculptor's project plan. It kicks off with a righteous family line way back in the time of Enosh. Then we hit a massive turning point in Noah's day where things get, well, complicated. That righteous line continues for generations after the Messiah, all building toward a final moment, thousands of years later, a final judgment. Every single step is shown as a deliberate move.
Now, the source uses this quote to really zoom in on that critical moment from the timeline, the days of Noah. This period is presented as a direct parallel, almost like a mirror image, for the end of the story. We're told that if you want to understand the end, you have to understand what happened back then. And that brings us to the heart of the conflict, the event that really drives this entire narrative. It's this fateful collision, a mixing of two totally different groups of people that, according to this text, changed absolutely everything.
Which, of course, leads to the million-dollar question from the text. To get what's going on, we have to know who the players are. So, who exactly were these Sons of Alahym?
And the source gives a very specific answer. We're not talking about angels or some kind of mythical creatures here. They were the sons of righteousness, the human family line that the sculptor was perfecting. This links them directly back to that timeline, identifying them as the ones carrying the artist's original vision forward.
And right here, the source pinpoints exactly where they came from. It traces this righteous line all the way back to Enosh, when people first started to call on the name of Yahuwah, which is the personal name for the creator in this text. So this wasn't just any random group. This was the specific lineage chosen for the artist's project. So here it is, laid out plain and simple. On one side, you have the Sons of Alahym, the righteous line, the ones being perfected. On the other, the daughters of men. And their union, we're told, created this catastrophic mixture that messed up the whole original design. And the consequence? Well, it was bad. The generation that came from this union had their hearts set on sin. It's like a dark mirror image. While the righteous were being perfected for glory, this new generation was being perfected for wrath. This outcome leads us directly to the idea of divine wrath. But the source presents this not as some random, angry punishment, but as the sculptor's deliberate, necessary final move to deal with the now corrupted masterpiece. And get this, according to this view, Scripture itself is a key part of this whole process. It's revealed in stages, almost like software updates. First, it's an unfinished work. Then, it's partially introduced through translations. Over generations, it gets refined, all leading to one specific moment of complete understanding. And it's that final fulfillment that makes the prophesied judgment possible.
And to really get a sense of the scale of this judgment, the text points to this incredibly dramatic prophecy from Daniel. We're not talking about a small local event here. The language is world-changing, a force that will literally devour the whole earth.
But just as the story hits its most destructive, intense peak, it pivots. What if this incredible wrath isn't actually the end of the story? The source argues it's not about destruction for destruction's sake. It's about purpose. Let's just pause on that for a second. The entire journey, from that perfect vision in the garden all the way to a global judgment, it wasn't just leading to a big explosion. So what on earth was it all for?
Well, the purpose of this wrath is actually threefold: to show his power, to make his ultimate promise known, And, this is the big one, to finally fulfill the original vision from Eden. For the sculptor, it's like clearing away all the flawed stone to finally reveal the masterpiece that was hidden inside all along.
And this is it. This is the final promise, the ultimate goal of the divine artist. The entire cosmic story of perfection, conflict, and judgment, all of it leads to this one single moment of reunion between the Creator and his now perfected people.
So that leaves us with a pretty thought-provoking question, doesn't it? This source completely reframes one of the toughest concepts in theology. It asks us to see judgment not as the final, terrible end, but as the powerful, creative act needed to start the final chapter. Definitely something to think about.